Episode 5, Shatter Reflections, Choices Unveiled. We ran. The ground vibrated with the thunder of 1,000 feet. Soldiers, aliens, creatures I couldn't even begin to identify, all pouring from the fractured sky. Vane was beside me, sword a silver blur. "Which way?" I yelled over the din. "Doesn't matter." "Just move," she shouted back, deflecting a blast of green energy that singed my hair. We sprinted across the wasteland, the chaotic horde hot on our heels. The air shimmered with colliding realities, glimpses of medieval castles, futuristic cities, and alien landscapes flashed in and out of existence. "This is insane," I gasped, stumbling over a rock. Vane grabbed my arm, hauling me forward. "We need to find cover." We spotted a jagged canyon in the distance and made a desperate dash for it. Energy blasts whizzed past us, exploding in showers of dirt and rock. "Almost there," Vane yelled. We dove into the canyon, scrambling down the steep slope. The relative cover offered some respite, but the sounds of pursuit were still close. "They're still coming," I said, peering over the edge. "I know," Vane replied grimly, catching her breath. "We need a plan. We're trapped in a canyon with an army of interdimensional invaders." "Exactly. An army we can use against itself. What are you talking about? They're not unified, Keira." "Look," she pointed to the chaos above. "Those soldiers are fighting those aliens. That monster is attacking everyone. They're just as confused as we are. So what? We just sit here and watch them kill each other? No. We encourage it. We become the chaos. How? By nudging things. Guiding the conflict. Making sure the right people fight the right people. That sounds incredibly dangerous. It is. But it's our only chance." She pulled out a small, metallic device from her belt. "This is a sonic disruptor. It can create localized distortions in the sound waves. I can use it to mimic commands to sow confusion. And what am I supposed to do? You become the bait. Draw some of them down here. Keep them busy while I work my magic. Bait. Are you serious? Do you have a better idea?" I didn't. "All right," I said, my voice trembling. "I'll be the bait." Vane gave me a grim smile. "That's my girl. Just remember, use your spark. Protect yourself." I took a deep breath and climbed back up to the canyon rim. I spotted a group of heavily armored soldiers, fighting a pack of grotesque, insect-like creatures. "Hey," I yelled, drawing their attention. "Over here, you overgrown tin cans." The soldiers turned towards me, their weapons raised. The insect creatures followed suit, their mandibles clicking menacingly. "Come and get me," I taunted, backing away from the edge. The soldiers and the insect creatures charged towards me, their battle forgotten. I turned and ran, leading them towards the canyon entrance. "Here they come," I yelled, diving back into the canyon. The soldiers and the insect creatures poured into the canyon, resuming their battle with renewed ferocity. Vane was already at work, manipulating the sonic disruptor, creating a cacophony of distorted sounds. "Fight. Kill. Destroy," I heard her voice, amplified and distorted, echoing through the canyon. The soldiers and the insect creatures turned on each other, their rage fueled by Vane's sonic manipulations. The canyon became a whirlwind of violence, energy blasts and alien weapons tearing through the air. "It's working," Vane yelled, grinning. "Keep them distracted." I focused my energy, unleashing blasts of power to keep the combatants separated, to ensure that the chaos continued. The canyon floor was littered with bodies, the air thick with the stench of blood and alien ichor. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the chaos. It was one of the hulking figures from the city, the ones Mayor Thompson had used as enforcers. He was covered in cuts and bruises, but his eyes still burned with a menacing red light. "You," he roared, spotting me. "You will pay for what you did to the core." He charged towards me, his fists raised. Vane was too far away to help. I was on my own. I focused my energy, preparing to defend myself. But the hulking figure was too fast. He grabbed me by the throat, lifting me off the ground. "Any last words?" he snarled, squeezing my windpipe. I struggled to breathe, my vision blurring. I reached for my spark, but the hulking figure's grip was too tight. Just when I thought I was about to pass out, a figure leaped from the shadows. It was Vane, her sword raised. She plunged her sword into the hulking figure's back, severing his spine. He gasped, releasing his grip on my throat. I fell to the ground, gasping for air. "You okay?" Vane asked, helping me to my feet. "Yeah," I croaked. "Thanks, don't mention it," she said, wiping her sword clean. "Now, let's get out of here before more of them show up." We climbed out of the canyon, leaving the chaos behind us. The wasteland stretched before us, desolate and unforgiving. "Where do we go now?" I asked, feeling exhausted and defeated. "We keep moving," Vane said, her voice resolute. "We need to find Alara. She's our only hope." We walked for hours, the sun beating down on us, the wind whipping through our hair. The landscape remained unchanged, a barren expanse of rock and sand. As the sun began to set, we spotted a small oasis in the distance. A cluster of palm trees surrounded a pool of shimmering water. "Water," I croaked, my throat parched. "Let's go." We stumbled towards the oasis, our hopes rising. But as we got closer, we noticed something strange. The palm trees were twisted and withered, their leaves drooping. The water in the pool was murky and stagnant. "Something's wrong," Vane said, her hand resting on her sword. We approached the oasis cautiously, our senses on high alert. As we got closer, we heard a faint whisper, a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the water. "What is that?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I don't know," Vane said. "But I don't like it." We reached the edge of the pool and peered into the water. A figure was floating beneath the surface, its face obscured by long, flowing hair. "Alara," Vane whispered. The figure slowly rose to the surface, revealing her face. It was Alara, but she was different. Her skin was pale and translucent, her eyes glowing with an eerie light. "Keira," she said, her voice a haunting echo. "You have come. Alara, what happened to you?" I asked, stepping forward. "I have become one with this place," she said. "I am the guardian of this oasis." "Guardian? What are you guarding?" "A secret," she said. "A secret that could save the multiverse." "What is it?" Vane asked, stepping forward. "The location of the Weaver," Alara said. "He is the key to stopping the chaos." "We know," I said. "But how do we find him?" "You must follow the shattered reflections," Alara said. "They will lead you to his door." "Shattered reflections? What does that mean?" "Look around you, child," Alara said, gesturing to the oasis. "This place is a reflection of your choices. Every decision you have made has created a ripple effect, spawning countless alternate realities. The shattered reflections are the remnants of those realities, the echoes of paths not taken. So, how do we find them?" Vane said, her voice impatient. "You must look within yourselves," Alara said. "You must confront your past choices, your regrets, your fears. Only then will you see the path forward." "That sounds incredibly vague," I said. "The path is not always clear, child," Alara said. "But it is always there, waiting to be discovered." "And what about you, Alara?" Vane asked. "Are you coming with us?" Alara smiled sadly. "I cannot leave this place. I am bound to this oasis. But I will guide you as best I can." "How?" "I will appear to you in your dreams," Alara said. "I will whisper the secrets of the shattered reflections." "That's it?" I asked, feeling disappointed. "It is enough," Alara said. "Trust in yourselves, Keira, Vane, and Keira. You have the power to save the multiverse. You just need to believe in it." Alara slowly sank back into the water, disappearing beneath the surface. The oasis fell silent, the haunting melody fading away. "Well, that was helpful," I said, rolling my eyes. "Follow the shattered reflections." "What does that even mean?" "It means we need to start thinking," Vane said, her brow furrowed. "We need to think about our past choices, our regrets. What are the moments in our lives that defined us, and how is that going to lead us to the Weaver?" "I don't know," Vane admitted. "But Alara said it's the only way. We need to trust her." We sat down beneath the withered palm trees, trying to focus our minds. I closed my eyes, thinking about my life, my choices. There were so many moments, so many decisions. Which ones were the key? Which ones held the secret to finding the Weaver? Suddenly, a memory flashed through my mind. It was a moment from my childhood, a moment I had almost forgot. I was 10 years old, standing at a crossroads in the woods. One path led to a sunny meadow, the other to a dark and mysterious forest. I had chosen the sunny meadow, the safe and easy path. But what would have happened if I had chosen the dark forest? I opened my eyes, feeling a jolt of excitement. "I think I know," I said. "I think I know what the shattered reflections are." "What?" Vane asked, her eyes filled with hope. "There are regrets," I said. "The choices we didn't make. The paths we didn't take. We need to find those paths, those alternate realities. They'll lead us to the Weaver. How do we find them?" "I don't know," I admitted. "But I have a feeling they're closer than we think." As I spoke, the oasis began to shimmer. The withered palm trees straightened, their leaves turning green. The water in the pool became clear and sparkling. A portal opened in the air, swirling with colors. It was a gateway to another reality, a reality born from my regret. "Well, that's convenient," Vane said, raising an eyebrow. "Looks like the shattered reflections are finding us." We stood up, staring at the portal. It was a gateway to the unknown, a path to the Weaver. But it was also a path to our past, to our regrets. "Ready to face your demons?" Vane asked, her voice grim. "Ready as I'll ever be," I said, taking a deep breath. We stepped into the portal, leaving the wasteland behind us. The world dissolved around us, and we found ourselves standing in a different place, a different world. This time, we were in a dark and mysterious forest, the same forest I had hesitated to enter as a child. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. The trees were tall and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. "This is it," I said, my voice trembling. "This is the path I didn't take." As we walked deeper into the forest, we heard a faint sound in the distance. It was a child's laughter, a haunting echo that seemed to beckon us forward. We followed the sound, our hearts pounding. Soon, we came to a clearing. In the center of the clearing, a group of children were playing, their faces filled with joy. But as we got closer, we noticed something strange. The children were all wearing masks, their faces hidden from view. "Hello," I called out, stepping into the clearing. The children stopped playing and turned towards us, their masks staring blankly. "Who are you?" I asked. One of the children stepped forward, their voice muffled by the mask. "We are the lost children," they said. "We are the children who never were." "What do you mean?" "We are the children of your regret," they said. "We are the children you never had," I gasped, realizing the truth. This wasn't just a forest. It was a manifestation of my deepest regret, my unfulfilled desire to have a family. "We have been waiting for you," one of the children said. "We have something to show you." The children led us to a small cottage, hidden deep in the forest. They pushed open the door, revealing a scene that made my heart ache. Inside the cottage, a woman was sitting by the fire, cradling a baby in her arms. The woman looked up as we entered, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and longing. "Keira," she said, her voice barely a whisper. I stared at her, my mind reeling. It was me. But not me. It was a version of myself who had chosen a different path, a path of motherhood. "This could have been you," one of the masked children said. "This could have been your life." I looked at the woman, at the baby in her arms. I felt a pang of regret, a longing for something I had never had. "What do you want from me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "We want you to see what you have missed," one of the children said. "We want you to understand the consequences of your choices." "I understand," I said, tears streaming down my face. "I understand." Suddenly, the cottage began to shake. The walls started to crumble, the roof collapsing. "What's happening?" I asked, my voice filled with alarm. "The reality is destabilizing," one of the children said. "You cannot stay here. You must leave, but where do we go?" "Follow the path," one of the children said, pointing to a narrow trail that led out of the clearing. "It will lead you to the Weaver." We turned and ran, fleeing from the collapsing cottage. The forest was crumbling around us, the trees falling, the ground cracking. We followed the narrow trail, our hearts pounding. Just when I thought we were about to be crushed by the falling debris, we reached the end of the trail. We stepped out of the forest and found ourselves standing in a different place, a different world. This time, we were in a vast desert, the sand stretching on as far as the eye could see. The shifting sands. We're here, Vane said, her voice filled with awe. We've finally reached the shifting sands. But as we looked around, we realized that we weren't alone. A figure was standing in the distance, watching us. It was the twisted Keira, the one who had unleashed the chaos. She smiled, her eyes burning with a malevolent light. "Welcome to my domain," she said, her voice echoing across the desert. "Welcome to your end." Then she snapped her fingers, and the sand beneath our feet began to shift. The ground opened up, revealing a bottomless pit. We were falling. To be continued.